Welcome everybody to the Franklin Early Childhood Center New Family Open House. I'm Donna Rosso, the principal of the Franklin. There are some people that are with us today that are kind of behind the scenes right now. You may not even see one of them. Mel Acevedo is the Director of Personalized Learning and Instructional Technology for the district, pre-K through grade 12, and is always the one who helps us with the links and setting up all of these technology pieces. So thank you, Mel. Mel has let me know that she is recording today's event and will publish the link on our website. It typically takes about 2 hours after the presentation. We also, because of the weather yesterday, we will be having our in-person open house at Franklin this evening on Wednesday, January 17th from 7 to 8. If you are wanting to join us, you are welcome to do that. So thank you for joining us. The other people who are with us today is our administrative assistant, Melissa Avini, who will be the one that most of you connect with during the registration process and can answer any of the questions that you have about that. Robin Adams, our school nurse, is helping children today, but she will also join us if she is able to introduce herself and tell you a little bit about the health expectations of registration. And then once your child is with us, Mary Beth Kiley is here with us this morning. Mary Beth is the coordinator of the Education Stations after school program for the Franklin School. So she will tell you a little bit about that. Mary Beth also helps us with the before school program. So we are excited that you are here. There is an opportunity for you to ask questions at the end. So if you have questions, certainly put them in the chat. We can get started. So this morning, I will provide you with an overview of the Franklin program and the registration process, what it will look like for the 2024-25 school year. We have an exciting opportunity for families this year that we have not done before. So we'll ask you to be patient, but we are scheduling tours, in-person tours and classroom visits. They will be scheduled for tomorrow from 11 to 1 o'clock every half hour, and Friday from 9 to 11 o'clock will be the tours. Families will get a link. We'll share it with you today, and it will be on our website as well, that you can select what time you want to join a tour and get to visit 2 classrooms and be in person to ask any questions that you might have after that. And we'll go into more detail about that as we go through the slides. I already introduced you to a few members of our community, but we'll talk about others who are really important to the Franklin. And then we'll have a few minutes for questions and answers. We will be all wrapped up by 11 o'clock. So who are we and why should you choose the Franklin? So the Franklin has kindergarten classes and preschool classes. The majority of classes are preschool. We have currently 16 preschool classes. There are 235 students enrolled in those preschool classrooms. Lots of times parents will ask, can we start at the Franklin in the middle of the year? If we have openings, families are welcome as long as their child has turned 3 the previous September. So for this current school year, they would have been 3 by September 2023. They can join the school anytime during the year if we have openings, and we do currently still have openings, and people seem to join every month. We have new families who are joining the Franklin. So if you're interested, that information is available. Like I said, we currently have 235 preschool. Our 2 kindergarten classes have a total of 36 children. Our after-school education stations classes, we have 8 classes. There's 1 for kindergarten and 7 for preschool. So when preschool dismisses, our education station students or students who are staying for the afternoon will go down to other classrooms. And they usually are with the same adults and in the same groupings as they are during the school day. We have 121 students currently who are part of education stations. In terms of our families, they are definitely connected. Each classroom has a room parent who keeps parents informed about what's happening in the classroom and makes connections. We lots of times hear about families who meet at the Franklin and stay connected through the years. Even if they go off to another elementary school, they still stay connected with sports teams and other kind of play dates. So definitely a great start to introduce you to the Melrose Public Schools. Another benefit to the Franklin that is different than a private preschool or a daycare center is that our teachers, there are actually about 80 faculty members here at the Franklin. In every classroom, there is a teacher. Every teacher is licensed through the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, which means they have at least a 4-year degree. Most of them have a master's degree. They are licensed under the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Most daycare centers or private preschools, the teachers are licensed under the Department of Early Education and Care, which requires the lead teacher in those schools to have 3 courses in early childhood. So definitely when we're looking at early childhood and outcomes for children, the correlation between the teachers, the amount of time that they've been in education and their degree correlates with positive outcomes for students. And Franklin is definitely head and shoulders above most other preschools in that area. So you will, if you come for the tours, you'll get to see our teachers in action. We will also post on our website a video that shows you who our teachers are. We also have the link right there where it says Franklin staff presentation. That is a link with slides that introduces you to every current staff member and lets you know a little bit about who they are and what makes them remarkable. You'll see that we have occupational therapist, physical therapist, a speech and language therapist, school psychologist, social worker, and a board certified behavior analyst, all of who are part of the Franklin faculty. Thanks, Mel. So anytime you see on the presentation, something in that blue color, it's a link. We will be sharing these slides with you, and those links will help you get more information about the school. So school safety and security, the number one piece that I tell parents is that this is a partnership between home and school. That we are really, you hear that we have a faculty of 80, but we have many more families, 231 families. Sometimes 2 people come to the school in the morning. You can be our eyes and ears always, letting us know if something is happening that needs to be corrected. I will say that it is definitely the parents who help each other and who help us with school safety. In addition to that, we have 2 school safety officers who are not just working with us at the Franklin, but they are working throughout the district. that is Mike Plummer, Officer Mike Plummer, and Officer Rob Mann, who are instrumental in meeting with myself and other principals, teachers, and the administration to make sure that we are following the most current up-to-date safety protocols to keep our families, our children, and our faculty safe. This year, there have been additional focuses on the school safety. We have always had families who are visitors or volunteers. They complete a query before they can be a visitor. There has always been a buzzer and a camera system that Melissa Avini, as the administrative assistant, takes care of. We've added a few new layers this year. We are using what's called an SRP, a standard response protocol. When you're in our building, you will see the standard response protocol posters in every classroom and in every office, so that the teachers and anybody who's in the building understands what those protocols are. They are the same protocols that are followed district-wide in all of our schools. They are followed under the recommendation of our safety partners, the Melrose Police Department, the Melrose Fire Department, Department of Public Works. This year, in IT installed 3 security cameras at the Franklin as an additional layer of security. And we're asking caregivers to have a badge as well, identifying who they are. I'm sure many of you were, as young children, part of fire drills and emergency evacuations. So we do practice each of those based on what our safety partners recommend. So you'll see right there the health and wellness. That is a link. The question is, when should I stay home from school? And I think our school nurse Robin, is going to join us and talk a little bit about the health and wellness. Okay, I'll come back to that slide. She is not available at the moment helping a student, but we will come back when she is available so that you can be introduced. Robin is definitely instrumental in the work that we do here at the Franklin. The other piece of that last slide that I want to highlight for you is the arrival dismissal routines are on that link as well. So as we move forward, the preschool tuition program and program options, all of our preschool programs are 5 hours, 15 minutes. The tuitions that you see on this slide, so there will be a 2-day option for you. Those classes would be Thursday, Friday, and the tuition for the full program for the year is $4,508.73. That is this current year's tuition. School committee is voting on rates. They will probably vote on rates, and by March we will know for sure what the rates will be, and we will share those with you before you confirm. But those rates that are there are all from the current school year. They increase the rates in order for us to be a self-sustaining program. Although we are part of the Melrose Public School District, the Melrose Public School District is only responsible for paying for the special education programming for the preschool program here at Franklin. And so the tuition needs to cover all other costs. So you can take a look at those rates, but be aware that they will change when they are voted on by the school committee. So class groupings, we are, I think it's one of our strengths of the Franklin, the way that we create class groupings. You will be answering a developmental history sharing information with us about your child, the kinds of things that they like to do, what prior experiences, whether it was a play group or school experiences, so that please take your time filling out that developmental history and know that we look closely at that. We look at the date of birth of the children. Have they been at the Franklin or someplace else before? And we really create class sizes that are balanced across the school. Again, I said there were 16 preschool classrooms. Very rarely do I have somebody, once we get started, that needs to change to a different classroom. We work hard. I work with the teachers, taking a look at who the students are. So about half of the students that are with us currently were with us last year, and that will be the same for the upcoming year. About half of our students started as 3-year-olds and will more than likely stay with us for 4-year-olds, with other 3 and 4-year-olds joining those groups. Nurse Robin is here, so I'm going to introduce her and have her talk a little bit about her website. Robin, I put on here on the slides for them a link to your health and wellness.
Oh, great. Good morning. My name's Robin Adams. I'm the school nurse at the Franklin. I've been here for 15 years. I take care of the health and the medical needs of the children. I'm not sure how much Dawn has gone through with you already, but a number of important things. I am here each day from 8 o'clock until 2:45 in the afternoon. If your child needs any medication, I can provide this during the day, emergency meds and also daily medication as well. I'm also here to take care of injuries and illness during the day, and I'm in close contact with the teachers at all time for that. We are a school that where safety is number one for us, and so we are a completely nut-free learning environment. We do ask that you do not send anything in that contains any kind of nuts, and this is due to the life-threatening severity of it for a child's classmates. We will go into more on that, of course, as we get closer to the event. And you can take a look at my website. It has a great deal of information on it regarding medications, forms, everything you could possibly think of. And as always, feel free to give me a call during the day, and I'm happy to chat with you and answer any individualized questions. Thank you.
Robin's also a great resource when it's talking about what lunches kids bring to school. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, 2 more things. One is about lunches and then about toileting, a very popular topic here. For lunches, we do have a hot lunch program, and you can order that with through your teacher. And additionally, you could send in a cold lunch and order milk. We do ask that you send in a snack as well in the morning, because children do have that here, and also a water bottle as well. In terms of the toileting, and this is a big topic, I have a great deal of information on my website. There's a workshop, there's additional forms that have toileting at the Franklin, tips for toileting, and we will work with you on this. While a child does not have to be trained to be here, we do ask that you be actively working on it to the extent that your child is able to do so. And realizing every child is an individual. At the same time, we do know that this is one of the biggest milestones of what their age group is doing. And so it's a very important part of being here with us. Again, if there's any questions, check my website or please call. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. You will, if you speak to anybody who is currently here at the Franklin, they will tell you Robin is an amazing resource and is very popular, not just with the families, but with the children. Our offices are connected, and I can often hear her speaking to the children about a bump that they may have gotten, or a bellyache that they have after arriving at school. So she is a great resource. Curriculum at the Franklin is another strength of ours that sets us apart from other preschools. Our curriculum is sets children up for success as they move forward to kindergarten through grade 12 in public schools. We are aligned with the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Again, when I share these slides with you, you will see that there are links to each of the curriculum frameworks. Not that you necessarily are going to go through all of them, but if you wanted to look at them, it gives you an opportunity to see what our curriculum standards look like. So each of our preschool classrooms have a monthly theme that they are following. The monthly themes are based on the history and social science standards. So right now they are looking at famous Americans and American traditions, which are part of those social science standards. They are also, the themes come from our science and technology and engineering standards. So they right now are doing a study in all of our classrooms, which is very appropriate, ice and snow. So no matter which classroom your child is in, the themes will be the same. They will be looking at similar books, reading stories, and doing investigations. For our English language arts curriculum, to meet the standards of English language arts and literacy, we use Lively Letters, which was a program that has been developed by two sisters who are speech pathologists that actually live in Massachusetts and have been impressed with the way that we are implementing Lively Letter curriculum with the young children here at the Franklin. It is a multisensory program that helps children to learn their letters and their letter sounds in a really fun, hands-on way. Handwriting Without Tears, which is one of our other curriculum pieces for ELA, was created by an occupational therapist that really looks at the beginning of printing and fine motor and penmanship for young children. Another really popular program that is implemented here. We looked at the curriculum K-5 uses for ELA called SAVIS and have aligned our program so that what we are doing will feed right into what they do in kindergarten and beyond. For science, we use, again, we follow the state standards, but we are using a program that was developed by MIT for young children. It's called Seeds of STEM. It's a problem-solving approach. Every classroom has a stuffed animal. His name is Problem Solving Panda. And it helps the children to follow the same scientific process that any child K to graduate school would follow. So they are asking questions, imagining, planning, creating, testing, and improving their hypothesis. So right now they're doing all of that with ice and snow. We also have a focus on social emotional learning and approaches to play and learning. Our classrooms are all following what we say are the ABCs of the ECC. Students learn what it looks like and how to comply with acting responsible, being respectful, careful, and safe. We have a monthly school-wide block party where the children come together and they sing the school song, the ABCs of the ECC. We use mindfulness with our children in the classroom and at the monthly assemblies where they are learning to feel those emotions and how to deal with those emotions. We use a program called Alpha Breaths, and our social emotional curriculum is called Second Step Curriculum. So as a Massachusetts Public Schools, we implement a system called MTSS, Multi-Tiered System of Support. This approach is required by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and the approach is ensures that the needs of every child in every area is met. And I put a few examples of what this might look like for children. So all children, every child participates in what I just described as the curriculum, but it is instruction that is targeted specifically to meet their needs. We use what we in education, another acronym that we use called UDL, Universal Design for Learning, so that we make sure that the curriculum that we are presenting is accessible for every learner. You heard me talk a little bit about our ABCs of the ECC, which is considered part of our PBIS system, or positive behavior intervention and support, that allows children to be explicitly taught what the expectations are, rather than punishing them for not knowing or not being able to comply. A PBIS approach looks at teaching children what the expectations are and providing them with the support so that they can meet those expectations the way that they are ready to. Our teachers assess all of the children in their classrooms in each of the areas of the curriculum, and they work together as a team to look at that data and make sure that children are reaching what we consider benchmarks. Those children who are not reaching the benchmarks, we have a student support team that is able to meet together to brainstorm, problem solve, and figure out what we can do to support the child so that they do meet the benchmarks and are provided with the right level of support. Parents are always informed about where their child is. There are opportunities. You'll get a report card twice a year, but there are also parent conferences with the teachers twice a year. If a child is recommended to be part of the student support team, before that happens, the classroom teacher would have had a conversation with the parent about that process. The teachers participate in professional development before the school year starts. They all write their individual goals, and as a school, we work together on a professional learning community. This year, our two focuses here at the Franklin, one is on school safety, and the other is really taking a look at our current curriculum and providing updates with the support of the district, updating our curriculum to make sure that we are keeping up with what we know children need to be learning. There are also, as part of that MTSS system, any child that has been identified with having a disability that requires additional support through special education, those services are also provided at Franklin. We do have children who attend Franklin who are part of Melrose, the city of Melrose, who live in Melrose, and then there are others who live in other communities. All of the supports for the MTSS are available to all children except for the special education piece. Those supports and services, because they come from the budget, the city budget for the school department, those services are only able to be provided for children who live in Melrose. If a child came to the Franklin and lived in another community, we would work with that community to make sure that they are receiving their special education services that they need. Some fun facts about the Franklin: our parent-teacher organization is critical to the success of Franklin. They are not here with us this morning, but are always part of the Franklin community. They help with fundraising, but they also help with planning exciting learning events. They have this Friday evening, they have a movie night planned where the families will come in their PJs and watch a movie here together. A short movie. Will be about an hour, just right for preschool and kindergarten age children. And they, a few weeks after that, they have a family curriculum night that is always a big hit with our families. You see down in the right-hand corner of your screen some previous Lively Letter Superstar Vowels who are also parents. The Lively Letter concert happens on the same night as the curriculum night, and the parents are instrumental in helping with that. You will also have an opportunity, I think I mentioned, to communicate with the teachers. The teachers will share weekly what the curriculum looks like in their classroom. They will email you. You are welcome to email them their ongoing communication. They have conferences available twice a year in the fall and then again in the spring. Report cards are coming out in February for preschool and kindergarten, and then again at the end of the school year. Data and district-wide assessments are shared with families anytime they are interested in looking at how their child is doing. The teachers will do that. The Melrose Education Foundation provides grants across the district, and has this year we were awarded a grant that is helping us to rewrite our curriculum and to access it so that teachers can access it on our website. They have done lots of other enrichment programs with us. I mentioned the PTO, and we also have, and we'll talk a little bit about that, the Bridge Volunteers, which we encourage all families to participate, not just here at the Franklin, but if you have special work-related or other skills that you are interested in sharing with people young people in the Melrose Public Schools, pre-K to 8, I would encourage you to look at the Bridge information on the district's website. So I mentioned that you do not have to live in Melrose to attend the Franklin, but that you do have to, that Melrose registration does give a priority to Melrose residents. For the last couple of years, we have had everybody who applied to be at the Franklin has been able to get into the Franklin, so it shouldn't be a concern, but I always want to just put that out there that Melrose residents have the priority. We follow the Melrose Public Schools calendar at the Franklin, so the children who are here 5 days a week are here 180 days. They attend 5 hours, 15 minutes. The school committee sets the fees. We follow the Melrose Public School calendar, so if contractually there is a day of an early release, we follow those same times. And all of the information is shared by the teacher. Melissa sends it out from the main office, but we also encourage parents to keep an eye on those. We follow the same vacation times as well. Education Stations also offers options of if you are registered to be part of Education Stations on the Wednesday early release days, then you would be your child would go right from the early dismissal of 11:30 or 11:40 into their stay and play room. The tuition payments, Melissa will explain that in a few minutes. Tuition is collected in equal amounts each month. So this is the school nurses information, and you see that Robin went over all of that information. We are a completely nut-free environment. I would, if your child is not yet toilet trained, I would encourage you to take a look at fostering self-help and independence. Again, it is an approach where we look at using really positive language with children and helping them with where they are in the moment rather than the end goal has to be met immediately, really walking them through. The link to Robin's presentation that she did in September of this year, 2023, is on there. You probably want to take a look at it, but also Robin will typically do a presentation before the start of the school year next year and invite families whose child, it's one of the questions that you will answer as part of registration, is your child toilet trained yet? And Robin will be in touch with you if your child is not yet toilet trained so that we start working in partnership with you to move that process forward. Again, her link right there to her website will give you when can children come to school and when can they not based on health needs, the toilet training, the nut-free, and ideas for snacks and lunch are on that as well. And I'm going to introduce Mary Beth Kiley, who, again, I said is the Franklin Coordinator of Education Stations before and after school program. So thank you for joining me, Mary.
Donna, are you still there? So it looks like we're having a technical glitch on one of our ends. Hold on. I'm going to pause this for just a minute while I try to get Ms. Rosso back in our live stream. Bear with me just a second, please. It looks like Donna and Mary Beth are returning.
Thank you.
There we go.
Sorry about that. We lost our internet connection, but quickly found it again.
Okay, as I was saying about the early bird program, so the kids come in and play. They just have a quiet morning. Then we gather them. They clean up around 8 a.m. where we join. I get a story. We read a book. We sing songs. We talk about the day, what the lunch is available for the day. Kids tell about what they did over the weekend. It's just a nice way to begin the morning. If parents have that need that option of dropping their child off early. And then we go down either for the 8:30 drop off, 8:25 drop off. We will have the staff bring them to their classrooms, and for the 8:35 drop off, they will go into our STEM room until it's their turn to join their classroom paras that will take them up to their classroom. So that's the early bird program. It's fun. We have about 35 students this year, which is great. Every Friday, we have Fun Friday where they have use of the indoor gym where they can run around and play. The after-school program begins immediately right after dismissal. The parents will bring them down into the classrooms. If a child is in a stay and play classroom, let's say they will stay in that classroom and another class will join them. We have 2 staff or more sometimes per classroom that we're using for education stations. They are very seasoned workers that we have. They're great. The kids love them. We are a continuation of the day where we go outside. We have snack. Education Stations provides a snack. It's peanut free. Could be a bag of goldfish, animal crackers. We ask that they provide a water bottle, just like during the school day. We go outside and play. We come in. There's a various amount of toys for them to play with, each classroom. We gather up. If the weather is like it is today, we'll have use of the indoor playground. And they really have a great time. What I call it is a giant play date. I was a coordinator at the Roosevelt for over 10 years. And what I said to the parents, it's like a giant play date with these kids every day. We don't feel bad that they have to stay longer than other children that go home, because they're having a play date every day with their best friends. So it is a great program. We have our pickup is at 5:30, and we have a 3:30 pickup as well. 3:30 and 5:30 are our pickup times. As Don had mentioned, on the early release day, the children, it's a longer day for them. At 11:35, they will join us and then continue the day. We do have a 15 to 20 minute rest time. We do have rest mats. It's not a time for a nap. They can look at a quiet book. But for a long day, for some of these kids, they just need some downtime. Lights out, calm music, and that's how the day goes. But it really is a wonderful program and option for your child. For after-school care, we also offer February and April. Full-day programming are available 8 to 5, except for Monday, the holiday, we do not run. And we also run a phenomenal summer program for these kids as well, with information coming out about that coming up soon. So lots of options, lots of fun, and looking forward to seeing you and your children. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Beth. Sorry about that, losing us. And then Mel, it sounds like we lost the slides, but we just sent them back to Mel. So hopefully we are going to get the slides back up so that you can see them again. Along with the information that Mary Beth shared with you, we have the information about how you will register for education stations. I will tell you it is a separate process that from the Franklin registration, but the timelines, we've worked hard to ensure that their timelines are aligned with how you will register for Franklin, but critical that if you need the after school program, that you register for education stations at the same time. The link is included on the preschool registration page currently, and will go live at the same time that we go live with registration. But sometimes people think that if they register for Franklin, they've done the same for Ed Stations, and it is a separate process. But the information, so Mel, we're on slide 12 at this point. There we go, right there. That's 13, there's 12. Perfect.
So Donna, we have lots of questions too in the chat about Ed Stations. I don't know if we want to wait till the end or if Mary Beth is still there.
I'm right here.
I want to answer them now.
Yep, if you want to take a well, we have about 10 more minutes, and I want to get to the Franklin piece too. So we'll go back to those questions at the end. How's that? Then if people don't want to hang around, they won't have to. But I make sure I get through everything in the hour. So all of the links and information is on there, and we will answer your questions on the registration process. The next slide is the education stations links and rates for the current year are on the next slide, Mel. Those rates are the current rates for the 2023-24 year. They will be voted on just like ours at the probably February, March timeframe during the budget process with the school committee. But those will give you a sense of the rates, and it is likely because we are needing to ensure that we are self-sufficient that those rates will go up for the upcoming school year. So I already talked about the Franklin PTO. Our current PTO co-chairs are Mike Lake and Cindy Cole. We would encourage any family who is starting with the Franklin to be part of the PTO. We will have new co-chairs next year, and the new co-chair for next year is actually joining me this evening. So if you come in person, you would get to meet her this evening from 7 to 8. So now on to other district-wide resources. The district, I talked a little bit about the bridge, a partnership with Home and School. All of the information is on there in the contact. We talked about Melrose Ed Foundation, another organization within the district that is required by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education is the Melrose Special Education Parent Advisory Committee, also known as the CPAC. The CPAC works very closely with our Assistant Superintendent of Pupil Personnel Services, Carrie Berman, to make sure that we are providing a community forum for families and a way for them, parents who are accessing or may need to access special education services, to create a sense of community and understand what their rights are, and how best to communicate their child's needs. And I'm going to turn it over to Melissa to let her share with you. Again, Melissa Avini is the Franklin Administrative Assistant, and she, along with Kim Candelari, will be walking you through the registration process.
Hello, everybody. So our registration will go active or live at noon on Friday, January 26th, and it will be open fully for priority registration through 11 o'clock February 11th. Once you register, you'll get an email immediately back telling you what the next steps are, which would include, we would need a copy of a birth certificate, a physical with immunizations, which is also called a school and camp form from your pediatrician, a confidentiality health form that will be linked into that email that you would fill out and send back to me, as well as two forms of verification of residency that we require. And that will be linked in that email as well too. And it tells you what we're looking for, copy of your mortgage statement or rental agreement. And then we would need like a National Grid form, something like that. If you are an out of district resident, a non-Melrose resident, there's also a separate form that you would need to sign, just indicating that you are aware if your child needs more services, that you would have a discussion with us and your home district. There would be once you have completed your registration, there is a $50 registration fee per child. You will be invoiced that fee, not immediately, so don't worry if you don't get that email within 24 hours. You will get an invoice for $50 on or before April 10th that you would need to pay as well too. Once registration continues, if we have over enrollment, let's say after February 11th, priority would be to Melrose residents, and then we would continue on with a lottery type process. But the past several years, We have not been over enrolled, and anybody who's been interested has been able to come to our program and enjoy it immensely. You would receive your first tuition payment on April 10th. That $100 deposit will be due by May 1st. And then you would make your first payment for tuition. I'm sorry, that is your first September tuition payment by May 1st. That would be your confirmation that you would like to attend our school. If you decide to withdraw your enrollment, we would need an email and you would receive a refund prior to July 28th, with the exception of $100. That would be a enrollment fee that we would retain as part of a deposit. If you decide to unenroll after July 28th, you would not receive a refund. So please just make sure you keep that date in mind. We will be sending out acceptance letters by the 10th, and then you would receive confirmation of teachers May, June timeframe, summerish.
The class placements
Yeah.
will be made. You'll find out who your teacher is during over the summer. We'll make the placements, but they won't be shared because there's lots of moving parts over the summer. But you will receive the confirmation that you've been accepted by April 10th, and then we will do the behind the scenes to create those classrooms and share the classrooms with you late summer. We follow the same time frame as the public schools when they are pre-K to grade 12, letting you know who your child's teacher is.
So that sounds like a whole lot of information that I just shared with you, but it's all on our website. Our website is very clear and active, and you can always go to that page and find out all that information that I just shared with you, as well as it being in the slides. My contact information is on our website as well, and you can always email me any questions that you might have about the registration process.
Perfect. Thanks, Melissa. And you will definitely be in touch with Melissa. And if something, a lot, she said, if something about your registration is not correct, she will be in touch with you. So this piece for us is new this year, and you will see two things. You'll see a QR code over on the right that you can access the schedule for the in-person tour and classroom visits, or there's a blue highlighted link there that you can use to schedule. You choose your time. There are going to be 4 people that work with our Education Stations program that will be leading the tours. I have arranged a schedule so that each time slot will get to visit 2 different classrooms, see a little bit of what the ins and outs of what the school day looks like, and then you will join me for the final 5 minutes or so in what we call the STEM room on the lower level. So you will meet in the front lobby once you've signed up for your tour, which are tomorrow from 11 to 12:30. The last tour starts, and on Friday they are 9 to 10:30. The next slide, there's some really important information for you about confidentiality, just to highlight for you to say that there will be no children allowed at the tours because our children will be in class. And so for the educational integrity of those programming and the children who are in class, if you come to your tour appointment with a child, we won't be able to accommodate you. So please make sure that you are able to come. Just the adults are participating, and we're asking that there will be no electronic devices, including cell phones, used during the tours. No photos or videos will be allowed. Tour groups will be limited to about 5 participants in each group, and we have made enough room so that we should be able to accommodate anybody who wants to participate in a tour tomorrow or Friday. So then if you are not able to come in person, there is a link there to a virtual classroom visit that I had a couple years ago with one of our classroom teachers that talks a lot about her classroom, from Miss Shannon. And that will be posted on our website as well. The next slide, there are links. So the slides that you are seeing right now, up in the left-hand corner, the link to the information session slides are there. And you do want to check that out, all of the links that I pointed out, you will be able to access those. The link to the information session handout that has some QR codes and ways for you to figure out the registration process and accessing the in-person tours is there. And then the bottom biggest link and most important gives you all the information about registration and how to get onto the website for registration. Know that when you go there, there is a link that is active. That's for the current school year.
For the very reason that
Okay, so Melissa has taken that off. If you are interested in registering for the 23-24, you would need to give her a call, because we do still have openings, but we don't want to confuse people. The link for the actual 24-25 will be live on the 11th.
the 26th.
I'm
at
sorry,
12.
26th through the 11th,
Right.
February 11th. So
Right on our website.
don't panic. Melissa will be right there that day. If it doesn't work instantly, we will figure out the glitches. So I think we got through everything with 3 minutes to spare. But I will stay for a few minutes longer to answer questions.
Right.
Thanks,
So-
Lynn.
The first question I think we'll start with is, what is the difference between the tours and the open house session that's this evening?
So the tours, the children will be in school and they will get to see what our classrooms and teachers are doing during the school day. Tonight, there will not be any teachers there. I will be there, obviously. And there'll be somebody from PTO, Mary Beth will be there. But teachers and students will not be part of this evening's open house, but they will be part of the tours tomorrow.
In the classrooms.
In the classrooms tomorrow.
Thank you. Let's start.
And I will say they don't need to register for tonight. They just want to come tonight it's from 7 to 8 in the all-purpose room. And if they are interested in a tour for either Thursday or Friday, they do need to register for that.
And Mary and Donna, the information you shared today will be the same information you share tonight as well,
Yes.
correct? Okay. So our next question is, may I ask, does the preschool have nap time or not? And what is the nap time schedule?
Because our preschoolers are here 5 hours, 15 minutes, the teachers plan their day so they're busy and then there are quiet times, but there is not a nap time unless your child is staying after school. And then they do have not what we would consider a nap. There are some children, very few, but there are some, especially at the beginning of the year, the young ones who just have turned 3, maybe over the summer. There are some children that fall asleep. Mary Beth, who is the after-school coordinator, would check with the parent to make sure that's okay, that the child stays sleeping, and they would not wake them up unless the parent says, please wake them up or they will not go to bed tonight. So we will be in communication, but that is not happening during the regular school day. That's for families who are registered for after school. So all children after school have about a 15-20 minute time when they first go downstairs that they have a quiet time on a rest mat, but then some do fall asleep.
Thank you. This question is, thank you. Can you elaborate on the procedure practice for enrolling a child who is 2 years, 11 months by September?
So I'll add to the website so that you can have it. There is what we considered preschool acceleration process that families can get letters. It has a letter from the pediatrician. We're looking to make sure those children are really developmentally ready for the rigors of the Franklin program. And there is a process that you go through. It is on the website. We encourage families who are looking at that to still register for that. It's called Procedure to Petition for Early Admission to Franklin ECC, and it is already on the Franklin website. So you'll be able to see that. Again, it's called Procedure for Petition for Early Admission to the Franklin. You can click on the link and it has all of the information in there.
I think we kind of answered this, but just in case, will the rates for education stations be set in March as well?
Yep, school committee will be, so the administrators, along with our current interim superintendent, John Macero, are presenting the initial budget to the school committee this coming Tuesday. They are very likely to vote on education stations and the Franklin rates very soon after that. So they typically wait till March or April for that process, but the interim superintendent is really hoping that that gets moved up. As soon as those rates are voted on, we will put them on our website and get them out to everybody.
Another ed stations question. So are the education station space limited? Do we need to register for it every semester, or is the space guaranteed after the first sign up?
So great question. The Franklin has been able to accommodate all children during the school day. This year, the enrollment at education stations there was no wait list until December. The children were taken off. Anybody who over-enrolled in that this year, they took them off by December, but that is always a challenge. If you register on time, you are likely to be accepted, but it is a process that often surprises families. So you want to make sure you register, because you could be accepted into the Franklin school day, but if you don't have your registration completed on time for education stations and the payment made, you may be put on a wait list for that program. And most of that has to do with staffing. They want to make sure that they have the right level of staffing for the number of children that they have.
Another ed stations question. For ed stations, if you do a full day, is there flexibility to pick up early, for example, 4 or 4:30?
Yeah, you can pick up any time. The payment will not change. If you are typically 4 or 4:30, then you still have to register for the 5:30 pickup. But then anytime you want to pick your child up, you may pick them up. We always ask parents to try to be consistent with their pickup time. Children come to expect that consistency. And then occasionally, if a child needs to be picked up early, certainly we understand that. But consistency is important for them. So if you're picking up at 4, that you let Mary Beth or others know that you will be picking up at 4, so that your child also knows that and can be expected. When the pickup is at a different time every day, we find that sometimes children are not able to get into the routine, and they're always, of course, wanting to see their family members after school. And so they're always wondering. when they're coming. So just communicate that, and being as consistent as possible. You know your child best, and understand there are some children who the flexibility is okay, but most of our children at 3, 4, 5 years old, they depend on consistency and predictability.
So we have 2 more questions, Donna. This one is, if your child does not talk or speak well in English, are there any speech classes, or I'm assuming EL classes as well?
So all of our teachers in our classrooms are what the state calls SEI endorsed. So they have taken classes in supporting children with what we consider being dual language learners. We encourage families to keep their home language. It is amazing how quickly children learn English by being exposed to English, but we also want them to keep their family language as well. So when you come to Franklin, certainly speak to your classroom teacher about the language. If a child is then having difficulty beyond what we would expect, we could talk about the SST process. We do screening for all preschool children who are dual language learners to see what their level of need is when they first come. And so we make sure that we are meeting those needs. And it is amazing to see how quickly the children who come to us only speaking their home language, and how quickly they begin speaking English and their home language.
Thank you. And our last question, so if we can't make it to the Franklin today, tomorrow, or Thursday, will there be any future opportunities to tour the Franklin School?
There will not. This is the first year that we are having these live tours. And because of the integrity of our programming, we don't have people coming in and out of our classrooms. But we will be putting the classroom visit with Miss Shannon there, so that parents can certainly look at that. I know that's not the same as coming into the classroom tours. I would encourage you to participate in the tours. If you cannot, speak to your friends and neighbors. We want parents to find out about what families have liked about it. Look at the PTO Facebook page. It is a closed page, but you can ask to join the PTO Facebook page, and they are another good resource to find out about what the Franklin looks like. If you come to the in-person open house tonight, you'll get a little bit of a sense of what the school looks like, but no children will be here.
That's all of our questions that we have, Miss Rosso.
So thank you so much, Melanie and Mary Beth. I thank Robin and Melissa for joining all of us today. Melanie will do her magic with her technology skills and create Facebook.
So it'll go up on, everything will be added to the Franklin webpage. I'm going to do some editing and edit out our little technology blip. But by the end of the day today, the slides, the video, and any additional resources will be up on the Franklin webpage, right on melroseschools.com, and then click on Franklin School.
Excellent. Thank you. So again, I'm Donna Rosso, the principal. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have additional questions. We are all happy to answer any questions that you have. Have a great day, and I will probably see some of you this evening. Thanks, Mel.